Below is an analysis of the prospects in the farm system of the World Series champion Boston Red Sox. Scouting reports are compiled with information provided by industry sources as well as from our own, both Eric Longenhagen's and Kylie McDaniel's, observations. For more information on the 2280 scouting scale by which all of our prospect content is governed, you can click here. For further explanation of the merits and drawbacks of future value, read this. All of the numbered prospects here also appear on the board, a new feature at the site that offers sortable scouting information for every organization. That can be found here. Drafted, first round, 2018 from American Heritage HSFL, Boss, age 19. Height 6 feet 4 inches, weight 238 bat, THRL, our FB 45 tool grades, present, future, hit raw power game power run fielding throw 25 50ths 70 80ths 35 65ths 40 30ths 45 55ths 60 60ths causes. Was one of the more heavily scouted underclassmen high school prospects in recent memory, and stood out hitting in the heart of the lineup for South Florida powerhouse American Heritage in various Team USA squads, and at travel showcases and tournaments. Some of this success was probably because Casas was one of the oldest prospects in the 2019 graduating class, which prompted him to accelerate his schooling in 2017 and reclass FI for the 2018 draft. Moving up a year made him age-appropriate for a high schooler in their draft year. At 18.4, he was basically average for a prep player. With the early career acclaim came a change in the way opposing pitchers approached Casas. They began to pitch around him, and scouts often left Casas games having seen him swing just once or twice because he was constantly walking. Luckily, Casas had a long track record of hitting in games, participated in multiple home run derbies during his amateur summers, and posted gaudy exit velocities during team pre-draft workouts, so clubs knew what his offensive potential was. He has good hands and a plus arm that helped him pitch into the low 90s on the mound, but is a well below average runner with poor lateral mobility. He played third base after signing, though mostly during instructs, as Casas injured his thumb sliding for a ground ball in June, needed surgery, and barely played during the summer, but expectations are he'll move across the diamond to first base in 2019 or 2020, where we think he'll be quite good. Casas' calling card is his bat, and there's potential for a 60-hit, 70-game power, 80 raw power kind of package. The margin for error for a teenage first base-only types is very small, but we're very high on Casas' bat. Signed, July 2, 2013 from Venezuela, Boss, age 22.1 height 6 feet 2 inches weight 185 bat, THRL, LFB 45 tool grades, present, future, fastball curveball changeup command sets, tops 70 70ths 60 60ths. 45 50ths 40 45ths 94 minus 97 99ths. We have the scowling Hernandez projected into a relief role and think his stuff is on par with many of the best lefty relievers in baseball. Developed as a starter to this point, he has well below average control and likely wouldn't throw enough strikes to go more than 2 or 3 innings a game in a big league rotation. In relief though, he could be incredible. His fastball is hard and comes in with tough angle. It has natural cut when Hernandez is locating it to his glove side, and with it, he misses bats away from lefties who swing inside its break. Both of his secondary offerings are capable of missing bats, but the same mechanical repetition issues that plague Hernandez's command cause them to be inconsistent. At times, he'll flash a plus breaking ball, at others, the pitch isn't located near enough to the plate to entice hitters. So, projected roles for Hernandez vary depending on the evaluator's degree of confidence in his ability to tighten up his command. On stuff, he has a chance to be a high-leverage arm, and one of the top 30 or so relievers in baseball. Drafted, first round, 2014 from Sprayberry HS, Boss, age 23.4 height 5 feet 10 inches weight 190 bat, THRR, our FB 45 tool grades, present, future, hit raw power game power run fielding. Throw 40/40ths, 65/65ths, 50/55ths, 40/40ths, 40/45ths, 55/55ths. Chavis was a well-known Atlanta area prep prospect, who in high school was a strong statistical performer with easy plus raw power that showed up in games. He didn't have a clear positional fit as an amateur, and that's still mostly the case now. He was a shortstop in high school but wasn't an athletic fit there, tried catching, which didn't work, and scouts generally projected third base or first base long-term. Though he has mostly played third, pro scouts see Chavis as a first base-only type, and he started seeing time there during the 2017 Fall League and again late in 2018. He missed much of 2018 with an 80-game PED suspension, which ominously came after a breakout 2017 campaign during which he hit 31 homers. He has now reached AAA, and had a strong half-season after the suspension was up, but scouts are wary of being all in on a player whose entire profile is dependent on power and who has also had a recent PED suspension. One-dimensional hitters who are limited on defense tend to end up in a first base platoon, and in this case, it'd be the lesser side of one, or as a low-end starter like Kevin Miller. Either way, it seems unlikely a high-payroll, contending club like Boston would wait for a young player with limited upside to break in as an everyday player. We think Chavis is a low-end regular, who may be trade bait once he further establishes his level of performance post-suspension. Signed, July 2, 2017 from Venezuela, boss, age 18.2, height 6 feet, 1 inch, weight 190, bat, THRR, our FB40 tool grades, present, future, hit raw power, game power, run, fielding, throw 25/55ths, 45/55ths, 20/50ths, 50/45ths, 45/55ths, 60/60ths. Flores, who received the second highest bonus in the Red Sox 2017 international class at $1.4 million, just behind Danny Diaz's $1.6 million, was the buzz of the Southwest Florida Instructional League and has exciting potential. After dominating the DSL during the summer, Flores got a late call-up and played 2 games in the GCL before his summer was shortened by a minor injury. He reminds some scouts of a potential everyday shortstop who takes a few games to grow on you. Unlike many high-bonus July 2 prospects, Flores doesn't have loud, flashy tools, or exceptional twitch or physical projection. He's more of the steady, low-key type of player with excellent feel for defense, common among prospects from Venezuela, where there's more of a game-focused development, and high-quality contact. He projects to be an above-average bat with average raw power and the swing attributes to have a chance to get to most of it. Deceptively quick for his size, Flores has average speed and the defensive instincts to cover more ground than his raw foot speed indicates, as well as a plus arm. There's a chance he outgrows shortstop, but he'd likely be at least above average, if not plus, at third base in that event. It may be a card full of 5s, except for arm strength on the 2-to-8 scale, with very little pro experience, but scouts are excited about what little they've seen here and think Flores could be a first-division regular if the bat develops enough. Drafted, first round, 2017 from Missouri, boss, age 22.5, height 6 feet 5 inches, weight 220, bat, THRR, our FB40 tool grades, present, future, fastball, curveball, changeup, cutter, command sets, tops 50/50, 50/55ths, 45/50ths, 55/60ths, 40/50ths, 90-93 95ths. Houck was a projection prep arm from Illinois whose price was just high enough to get him to Missouri. He had a big freshman year there and then had a national coming-out party as the ace of Team USA that summer. Houck continued at about that level for the next 2 seasons, slinging in a heavy, 91 to 96 miles per hour sinker from a low slot with a deceptive crossfire delivery. He threw strikes and had a plus slider. Scouts who weren't as enthusiastic about Houck's changeup, or arm slot, or the length of his arm action, saw a reliever. His stuff would flatten out and his command would back up as he fatigued into the late stages of some starts. The Red Sox had Houck change his delivery and arm action for the first half-dozen or so starts in 2018, focusing on a more traditional 4-seam fastball approach. It didn't work, and Boston let Houck go back to what he had been doing later in the year. His dominant final 2 months of 2018 reflect his comfort with this approach. The likely outcome here is a multi-inning power reliever who dominates righties with strikeouts and ground balls, though some see a starter in the mold of Justin Masterson. Either way, Houck should move quickly, especially if he's only asked to face a lineup once or twice per outing. Drafted, 2nd round, 2018 from Seneca HSNJ, Boss, age 19.3, height 6 feet, 0 inches, weight 200, bat, THRL, LFV 40, tool grades, present, future, hit raw, power, game, power, run, fielding, throw, 20/50ths. 55/60ths, 25/55ths, 50/45ths, 40/50ths, 55/55ths. The amateur side of the scouting industry is fearful of prep bats from the Northeast because they face bad pitching during the spring, and are tough to evaluate as hitters. This, coupled with Decker's slightly advanced age relative to other high schoolers, as well as a deep, late first and early second-round group of high school outfielders, pushed him into the second round despite having first-round physical ability. Decker is a high-effort player with good instincts on the bases and in the field. He probably doesn't have the pure speed for center but has a small hope of staying there based on his feel. Even when he likely moves to a corner, there's enough power for Decker to profile as an everyday player provided he hits enough, and early returns on his bat. In pro ball, he missed GCL time due to a wrist fracture but played during instructs, are very strong. Drafted, 4th round, 2016 from Arizona, Boss, age 23.5, height 6 feet, 4 inches, weight 225, bat, THRR, RFV 40, tool grades, present, future, hit raw, power, game, power, run, fielding, throw, 30/40ths, 70/70ths, 30/55ths, 40/40ths, 50/55ths, 70/70ths. There isn't much precedent for sustained big league success when hitters run strikeout rates as high as Dalbec's. He's struggled badly with whiffs since college, but his combination of power and defensive ability give him significant upside if he grows into even a 40 bat. Breaking balls especially flummox him, even when they hang and appear hittable. Mike Holt, Juan Francisco, Matt Davidson, and Pedro Alvarez are recent examples of players with offensive skills who struggle to overcome their issues with strikeouts. But Dalbec is also more athletic than most of those low-contact, corner sluggers, and looked great at third base during the fall league. Realistically, Dalbec's issues limit him to a bench or platoon role, which is largely enabled by his ability to play third base well. But because there's superlative power here, the ceiling is sky-high if things suddenly click with the bat. Dalbec also spent time pitching in college. He was 91/93 with an average slider, a secondary skill that is of increasing interest to teams, though it's still just largely considered to be a parlor trick to show off during a blowout. Drafted, 1st round, 2016 from Barnegat HSNJ, Boss, age 20.4, height 6 feet, 5 inches, weight 220, bat, THRL, LFV 40, tool grades, present, future, fastball, curveball, changeup, command sets, tops. 55/55ths, 55/65ths, 45/55ths, 40/50ths, 90-92-96. As early as his freshman year of high school, Groom was pegged by those who scouted him as a potential high first-round pick. He had a silky smooth delivery and projectable frame, with average big league stuff almost 2 years before he was even eligible to be drafted. His stuff just ticked up from there, and arguably peaked the summer before his draft year, when Groom would work 92 to 96 miles per hour in short stints, worked with an easy plus curveball, mixed in an average to above changeup, and did it with that big, athletic frame and his starter's delivery, all of which led to being a first overall pick favorite at the time. But a myriad of concerns unrelated to Groom's talent dogged him more than most prep prospects. That, combined with a quickly thickening frame, contributed to his fall out of the top 10 picks of the 2016 draft. Since signing, Groom hasn't been on the mound much, making just 17 total pro starts due to a back injury and an eventual Tommy John surgery. He's slated to return to the mound in June or July of 2019. Some scouts are still wary of his high school off-field issues and maxed-out frame, seeing a bunch of 50 or 55 attributes aside from his plus curveball. Those who are still on board note that his changeup was improving and his velo was regularly up to 96 miles per hour prior to surgery, leading them to think that he was just getting back on track. Proponents expect him to pick up where he left off and reach the number 2 or 3 starter upside he seemed to have at age 17. Signed, July 2, period, 2015 from Venezuela, Boss, age 19.7 height 6 feet 3 inches weight, 175 bat, THRR, our FV40 tool grades, present, future, fastball curveball changeup command sets, tops 50-50-fifths, 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 30-40-fifths, 92-94-96, modest conditioning, velocity, and control all fluctuated wildly throughout 2018, and he ended up walking 58 hitters in 72 innings before his season ended in late July due to back tightness. That's not to say the industry expected Mata to perform. When he began his season at High A, he was only 18 and the youngest pitcher in the league by a wide margin. He was sent to the Futures game in July, despite these struggles, because his stuff is quite good. Mata worked more with a two-seamer in 2018 and his ground ball rate rose to 57%. His low, three-quarter slot creates movement on his changeup that pairs well with the two-seamer and also gives right-handed hitters a tougher look at his loopy curveball. He could have 4 above-average pitches at peak if you count the 4 and two-seamers as 2 separate offerings, but none of it will matter if Mata's 2018 strike throwing is the norm going forward. The consensus is that he has feel for creating effective movement on his pitches but not for locating them yet. Proponents think due to his age that Mata will improve and become a no-starter. Detractors are skeptical of his athleticism, his ability to repeat and throw strikes, or both. Drafted, 6th round, 2015 from Ohio State, Boss, age 24.5 height 6 feet, 1 inch weight, 180 bat, THRR, our FV40 tool grades, present, future, fastball curveball changeup cutter command sets, tops 55-50-fifths, 55-60ths, 45-50ths, 55-50-fifths, 45-40-fifths, 92-94-96. 2 elbow fractures have Lakin's 2016 and 2017 seasons and caused him to break camp late in 2018. He was quickly moved to the bullpen last year, and had a healthy, successful season that ended with him claiming a spot on the 40-man. Lakins works a lot with a low 90s cutter that has enough length to miss bats away from righties. After peppering his glove side with cutters, he can throw righting, mid-90s four-seamers past hitters at the top of the strike zone, which then sets up his 12-6 curveball beneath it. Relievers with 4 viable pitches are rare, and Lakins has the stuff to play a valuable multi-inning relief role, though single-inning usage might give him the best shot at staying healthy. Drafted, 3rd round, 2018 from TCU, Boss, age 21.7 height 6 feet 1 inch weight, 190 bat, THRR, our FV40 tool grades, present, future, fastball slider changeup command sets, tops 70-70ths, 60-60ths, 40-45ths. 45-50ths, 93-97-99. If forced to pick one prospect from the 2018 draft to throw a big league inning tomorrow, we might pick Feltman, who has an electric fastball-slider combination. As a junior, Feltman struck out 43 batters and walked just 6 in 24.1 innings, and tied the TCU school record for saves despite being injured for some of his junior year. His fastball is hard and comes in at a tough angle, while his slider has bat-missing vertical action. Barring injury, Feltman should be a quick-moving reliever and has a chance to turn into a late-inning arm. Drafted, 2nd round, 2016 from Florida, Atlantic, Boss, age 24.0 height 6 feet 3 inches weight, 185 bat, THRR, our FV40 tool grades, present, future, hit raw power game power run fielding throw 35-45ths, 45-45ths. 30-40ths, 50-50-50-55ths, 60-60ths. Chatham played on Miami area powerhouse high school team American Heritage with Zach Collins, and stood out defensively for being a long-limbed athlete with a plus arm and above-average defensive ability. Collins went to Miami and became a top 10 pick, while Chatham went to Florida Atlanta and became a second-round talent. Over 2.5 seasons, he has played only 156 games due to multiple injuries. He has viable infield defensive ability and above-average bat control with some doubles pop, but also has some clear offensive limitations. He had a mostly healthy 2018 at high A, and should begin 2019 on the doorstep of a big league utility role. Drafted 7th round, 2018 from a Long Beach State boss, age 22.3, height 6 feet 2 inches, weight 200, bat, THRL, our FB40 tool grades, present, future, hit raw power, game power, run, fielding, throw 35/50ths, 55/55ths, 30/45ths, 70/70ths, 40/50ths, 40/40ths. The trajectory of Duran's summer and fall rise is unique. During collegiate scrimmages in the fall of 2017, scouts saw a big, athletic second baseman who was just okay defensively, had an all-fields, line drive approach without much pop, and plus-to-plus-plus speed. Duran had a fine junior spring, but hit for almost no power, which perhaps should be expected in a pitcher-friendly home stadium like Blair Field in Long Beach, and slipped to the 7th round as a nearly 22-year-old with a modest statistical track record. After signing, the Red Sox had Duran change his swing a bit in BP to see if they could tap into something more, and the 6'2", 200-pound Duran started showing above-average pull power. Boston also moved him to center field, where his long-range speed fits better than it did on the infield. He crushed short season and low A after signing. For Long Beach State, Duran had 13 extra base hits and 253 PA in 2018. Across 2 pro levels, he had 28 extra base hits and 302 PA, including 11 triples. There are multiple examples of hitters, including Matt Chapman and several of the Stanford guys, who had breakouts after leaving overly traditional West Coast college hitting programs. Duran may be the most recent. Drafted 21th round, 2018 from George Jenkins HSFL boss, age 19.3, height 6 feet 1 inch, weight 205, bat, THRR, our FB40 tool grades, present, future, hit raw power, game power, run, fielding, throw 20/50ths, 55/60ths, 35/50ths, 40/40ths, 40/50ths, 50/50. Hallett was a known prospect in Florida for years and was on a trajectory to go in the top 5 rounds after a strong start to his spring, but he finished poorly, including a brutal NHSI tournament where all 30 teams had multiple scouts on hand. Hallett swung and missed a ton in front of dozens of high-level evaluators, when many had pegged him as the sleeper prospect to break out at the event. The Red Sox found after signing him that he had an issue with his contacts, giving him particular trouble in big games, which all of the games at NHSI were, and got him squared away before his pro career began. Hallett had 6 homers in 43 pro games with a manageable strikeout rate that surprised many amateur scouts who had discounted his hitting ability earlier that year. He's often compared to Northcutt since they both play third base and were widely scouted later-round finds for Boston. Hallett has a little better feel to hit and ability to tap into his power in game situations, but is a little behind Northcutt defensively. Signed, July 2nd period, 2017 from Dominican Republic boss, age 18.5, height 5 feet 11 inches, weight 160, bat, THRR, our FB40 tool grades, present, future, hit raw power, game power, run, fielding, throw 20/55ths, 35/40ths, 20/35ths, 80/80ths, 45/55ths, 45/45ths. Jimenez is a scout favorite and probably the highest rated of the true sleepers on this list. The Sox 2017 international signing class is already paying dividends with Flores, Jimenez, Bello and Diaz all among the org's top 20 prospects, while none have played longer than a week in the GCL. Jimenez is described as a running back playing baseball due to his sneaky athleticism in a compact frame, his all-out style, and standout work ethic. Depending on whom you ask, he's either a 70 or 80 runner, but his instincts on the bases and in the field aren't up to snuff just yet. Since there isn't much raw power presently, he plays more of a slap and dash, small ball game that accentuates his speed. This limits his upside a bit, but when you look back at prospects who outplay their projections, scouts will often point to a name and tell you not to under 8+ athletes with plus makeup. We were aggressive in ranking Jimenez for that reason. Drafted 5th round, 2016 from Maryland. Boss, age 24.3, height 6 feet 3 inches, weight 225, bat, THRR, our FB40 tool grades, present, future, fastball, slider, changeup, command sets, tops 50, 50, 50, 50, fifths, 45, 50ths, 45, 50ths, 89 minus 92, 93rds. Shawarin's prospect stock peaked when he was a dominant college sophomore at Maryland. Injury and a downtick in stuff plagued him as a junior, and he fell to the 5th round of his draft. Shawarin has traversed the whole of the minors as a starter, but ultimately might fit best in relief due to some of his stuff's limitations. He has a funky, low-slot delivery that creates cuttery, horizontal movement on his slider. It's his best way to miss bats. His changeup and fastball, which was only in the upper 80s for much of his time in the Arizona Fall League, are both fringy on their own but play up a bit due to the deceptive funk in his delivery. Shawarin fits in a number 5 starter, swingman relief role, and could be ready in 2019. Signed, July 2, period, 2015 from Dominican Republic. Boss, age 22.2, height 6 feet 4 inches, weight 209, bat, THRR, our FB40 tool grades, present, future, fastball, curveball, changeup, command sets, tops 45, 50ths, 45, 50ths, 45, 50ths, 45, 55ths, 88 minus 90 seconds. As rare as complete games have become at the big league level, they're even rarer in the minors, where developmental caution takes precedence over single-game results. A hyper-efficient strike thrower, Reyes threw 2 complete games in 2018, and needed less than 100 pitches in both, and also had an 8-inning outing against Columbia in July. Though he doesn't throw that hard, Reyes propels himself way down the mound and has super long arms that help him generate big extension, which help his upper 80s fastball play like one in the low 90s. His fastball angle isn't great for missing bats, but his changeup and curveball are both effective, though not dominant, alternatives. Reyes profiles as an efficient backhand starter. Signed, July 2, period, 2017 from Dominican Republic. Boss, age 19.6, height 6 feet 1 inch, weight 170, bat, THRR, our FB40 tool grades, present, future, fastball, curveball, changeup, command sets, tops 50, 60ths, 50, 55ths, 45, 55ths, 30, 50ths, 91 minus 95, 96ths. A hard-throwing, flexible teenage righty who had a strong summer in the DSL. Bello came stateside for a single GCL outing, then later went to Instructional League for shorter outings during which he'd flash 3 above-average pitches. His build and arm action both portend greater, potentially significant velocity. He has number 4 starter stuff if things come together, but he's probably several years away. Signed, July 2, period, 2017 from Venezuela. Boss, age 18.0, height 6 feet 3 inches, weight 200, bat, THRR, our FB40 tool grades, present, future, hit raw power, game power, run, fielding, throw 25 50ths, 55 60ths, 20 50ths, 50 40ths, 40 50ths, 60 60ths. Diaz was the Red Sox top international signing in 2017, getting $1.6 million, just ahead of now superior prospect Anthony Flores' $1.4 million bonus. Diaz was solid in the DSL last year and made his stateside debut during Instructional League. He's already a big kid. Scouts estimate 6'3" and 225 pounds or so, much more than where he's listed, and he's unlikely to be a third baseman long-term, but players this young still have the opportunity to reshape their bodies pretty soon.